So anyways, I like SoftBank still.
Okay, Elaine in the chat wants Lumen, which is ironic because you asked me for Lumen, or you texted me about Lumen yesterday. So what are you thinking about this?
Wait, Lumentum or Lumen?
Lumen, L-U-M-N.
Oh, no, this is ready. So this is ready to me in terms of like, okay, here's your high 2024. So this is the 2-year breakout that's happening right now. This is, so in terms of, we get on the 4th shot. So you have 1, 2, call it like 3. And then this is shot number 4. And so we're just, and now we're holding over. So 1,
my
2,
scripts,
3. I'm sorry, 3 here. And this whole thing,
I think that
is the 4th shot.
That could be it
here.
for now.
1, 2, 3.
So,
number 4.
I really like this setup. This one is this one is easy enough for me for like someone who's beginning to understand.
Yeah. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Like so this big base, you can very clear. This is a daily chart. I could do this on a weekly chart. Massive base and resistance, which it was support over here very cleanly. $9.64, and then a huge breakdown. Tries again, and this usually on the 4 shot, and you can see it a little cleaner here. 1, 2, 3, 4 shots. This, and then when I start to zoom in and you look at this, this is actually the first time. Over here, the difference is that we've had 1 full week, only 1, that actually was over. And then the very next week, it broke back below. So over here, so far, right, we have 1 full week last week, which was my real trigger. This full week open and close basically completely over that main event. And this week right now, absolutely completely over. And so this one, I think you could take your time with. I think this is absolutely a leap setup. Here's a monthly view.
We'll leave the cancel ones for now, so you guys can maybe see.
This is.
And I'm gonna turn off this one.
I don't really want to say this, so I haven't done the math or any of that kind of stuff. But so like,
they have Lumen here.
This looks like it's gonna take a shot into the.
I pause this. So Lumen, I forgot to turn on these boxes. I don't want this. I don't want this. I don't want this. So this is the tariff tantrum low. I don't know if we should do log on this one, but I don't usually do a lot of stuff with things that need log for me to. So this is 1. This is another one. And we can do another one here. So this is more a cycle-based type of trading, and I do DSS and stochastic. I'm missing DSS, this, and stock RSI. This. So used to having them down there that I don't even remember if I should or not. So they're saying this is set up. We were expecting a daily cycle low here. It pushed off. So it's still looking for a weekly cycle low in a daily time frame, or 24 hours. I like to use 24 hours. You can switch back and forth, but this doesn't give you the gaps, the 24 hours. And they're saying it's set up. So the DSS is crossing downwards bearish. Like any other oscillator indicator, it can give false signals, and you have it here. But basically what we're saying is that it's saying that we have a mid trigger here for the daily. But then now, if this is a trigger, we're on the what could be overbought. And then what you're expecting is either a false signal that it's coming down and then moves up, but higher probability is that you're going down. So when they're saying that they're going to look at longer term
high 20s, because if this,
so they're saying higher time frame, like 20s. One thing that I had seen before from this chart and that I also use, let's switch back to a weekly to make this easier, is the Anchor VWAP. So I'm gonna leave it that I can continue doing Anchor VWAPs if I want. So this is the beginning. I decided on my nomenclature that this is gonna be the initial AVWAP, the anchored. So I do it in white and do a little bit thicker, and it's coming out at 15. They're saying like 20s. So that makes sense to me.
This support actually holds and ends up as a launch pad. And this is not a near term. This is not a day trade thing. This is like a positional trade,
so
meaning like you need to be here and you need to be patient for a long time if you want to do this. But if you do it, it's probably worth it.
On the weekly.
This first attempt is
the first attempt on the weekly. So what I also try to do is try to look for I set it up so it's still giving me the option to continue anchoring stuff. So that's the initial one. Then what I like to do is come up, this is a significant high. You're supposed to do significant highs with the VWAPs if you're anchoring them. So I'm gonna anchor that. I decided for no reason at all that purple was gonna be my all-time high. And I start liking when stuff starts to converge. So the all-time high, and that's why I like the Anchor VWAP, it starts to converge. So if price comes up to 15, it's going to have people that bought at the beginning and people that bought at the all-time high. And with a volume weighted average price, it comes out to normalize around this price. So algos and stuff can start selling here, because if they bought it here, this is the, let's say, fair price. I don't like to use that word, but it's like the best way that I can find to convey what the Anchor VWAP is. I can start adding here, even here. Let's see how that looks. I can add here at the moment that it started, I use so this breakout, the initial buying and the all-time high are converging around 15. So it makes sense that if you're thinking that this could be, let's say, a longer term trade, and you want to do, this is the bottom. If this is the bottom, we can also do this in the bottom. Say this is the Anchor VWAP here. So that's like support. I see this like a dynamic support. So it got a little bit down and then followed up. And so you can start doing your own sauce of technical analysis, where let's say this is the low and this is another low. So you can see how sometimes the traditional trend lines and the Anchor VWAPs can be converging. So if we go back to 24 hours, for me, this is not such a bullish setup as what is being interpreted. It can hold support here. It can hold support at the anchored VWAP. So this is a tentative line. I could do an alert here. But when I was looking okay, they're saying this is a potential trade. I'm not so sure. We can also start looking. The indicator has this as a mid confluence. We can go down the time frames. It's still, I'll do it like a vertical one here. I usually try to do the intervals more than a single. And let's do this as a white. So we can go down to the 12-hour, still mid, 8-hour, mid, 6 hour. So what I like about the indicator is that it gives us like a Camel Finance indicator cycle time, is that if you missed out, you can always look at the lower time frames and see if there's confluence. Like when you're like, if this is like a daily cycle low, you can still say, okay, if it's holding support, if it breaks down, then I have to reevaluate. But what I'm looking now is, where is support? The cycle tells me that this is trending down. Here I have, if I use the 1 hour, the Anchored VWAPs converge from the beginning time frame to an all-time high. So this changes depending on the time frame that you're looking at. So we have some support here if you're looking at the 1 hour or the 4 hour. Okay. So if I look at, I like to do more like longer term swings. So we had a window to expect weekly cycle low range here. So if this is the weekly cycle low, what I would want to see is having the DSS come down and the stochastic come down and see where support holds. And then maybe we can think about looking at the 14, 15-ish, see how it came down, just like we were talking. So for me, this would be more like a short and a short swing. Let's see. I like to look at 18 hours curling down. The 12 hours curling down. So, or all the major, and this is like, I learned this from Kimosabi, and this is cool because 6, 8, 12, 18, and 24 are all in the higher time frames curling down. This is still going down, but the stochastic is kind of low here, like an oversold, but still has a way times to go. So for me, this is not so much like a setup. If I was looking at it before and I saw all this, maybe if I go to 24, you can see it's breaking down here on the 10 level and it's curling here. So you could either, depending on your strategy, you could do like a stop loss here, 1069. So because if it goes up, it's looking for upper liquidity. You can also use lower time frames to try to look for another stop loss level. Here, I'm not finding one right now. It's like 1062. That's debatable if it's a difference. 1056. So I don't know. I would do like 10 the high. I'm not getting another thing that try to like lines. Where do I go to put the high-low value and line? Okay, cool. So 1069, yeah. So 1069, is that this as a high? Yeah, 1069, and then what I do is like if it's Lumen enter short 1069. No, stop. That way we stop and entry at 10, stop 1069. And depending on the account size, then it gives you a bunch of numbers. Let's continue.
Into the mid 20s, and it into the high 20s here would just be coming back into this prior broken support, which again, even if I took the absolute lowest point of that, which is going to be somewhere like that, that's $20, which is a double from here. And so as we get through this, you have a couple little points of contention. So probably like 15, which I think if all goes well, what I'm talking about is like being 15 by the end of summer to Q3, somewhere in there, getting that first kind of press, which you could get some like resistance over here around 15 and change. So I would target that zone first, but have plenty of room available and time for an extension into 20 and some potential chop into 30s by next year, maybe.
So I think this looks very clean. Jason and I were talking over the weekend. We don't know how we're going to structure, but we want to make like a technical Tuesday portfolio where when we both agree on a trade, it'll mainly be Jason. I mean, look, as I get better at TA, I'll suggest some setups, but it'll be really Jason kind of introducing us setups and then people kind of seeing, does this make sense? This Lumen one makes a lot of sense to me. I don't know if it's going to work out, but it makes a lot of sense technically. And
yeah,
we need to set up like 25 grand for us to just take the trade and kind of see what happens.
Yeah. So like just an example, and we would do it sizing, right? As an example, like I think the first chunk of this would be like 2027, January, like 15 calls. Like that.
I like the
literally
15 calls.
And even if in a $25,000 portfolio, I mean, those are,
this makes
it's
sense.
not like 20 calls.
Just
those
because
are
of this.
$150. That is such a,
we would do like $2,500 worth.
And what's he's using? He's
not
using
even like, because
VWAP.
like so like this is where I would come in.
Volume profile.
I would do like 1,000. I would do like
previous
10 of them
resistance
at most.
So
with a $25,000 portfolio, because if this gets here, that, which is like, what is that percent? That's like 2.5%. That would be 5%. This move right there, that would take a 5% position and honestly turn it into a 25%
what he's targeting
position. And I don't,
this liquidity
we don't want a 25%
here.
position.
And you can see like a print.
But that's like the power.
That usually
of
is like a phantom print.
If done right,
so it makes sense.
This is not
so
hot,
we can
like,
start
in
looking
terms
at
of
convergence.
volatility.
We have
You're
this
buying
here.
it when it's
this
about
here.
to break out, but it's taken so long. You know, you have your earnings catalyst right now into end of August. You've got plenty of time between now and the next earnings catalyst. So we know.
Let's see on the monthly.
We don't know, but I think this is on its way to take another shot towards that 15.
Another thing, let's see. I use this. This is not the.
Anyways,
I don't know if this is the most.
What made you say that? I thought that was a secret
tool, but this is the one
secret mission
that I haven't used.
This one I actually think the setup looks so clean that eventually we got to set up this for it. Because when you and I both agree on it,
we're
like
here.
The chat agrees on it. Like if everyone's like, okay, this makes sense.
And you know, we're looking at 7.9.
We'll figure out the technicalities of how to.
Yeah, I mean, mixing the fundamentals and the technicals.
And 7.9.
It helps. Yeah.
Oh,
you know,
the sauce.
We have
a couple things after hours. So Palo Alto loses the entire pump, and now
I also love. Like, sorry,
something they said on the call was not.
How you can like hear me over them? Sorry, I'm gonna have to get a little bit used to this. But this is another tool that I have indicated from one of the accounts that I follow, and I think has an algo succession system that is really, really good in terms of predicting bottoms and whatnot. And it's cool how if I have the Anchored VWAP from this low, I think, this low, it has confluence with the 4-hour moderate bear right now. So everybody that bought here and the price from here onwards in terms of volume and price equates to this line. We can also pull it down here a little bit more. And it's a little bit between the 4-hour bear and the extreme bear. Sometimes the 4-hour bear, and if we go back, see how it dips. This was like February. It dips, gets to extreme, and then it has like a push off of that. Sometimes it's more likely and it's more common to have it off the 4-hour bear. We have it here, and it pushes off. And if we're on an uptrend, we almost never get down to it. So it's more common, like as a retracement level, we pierce the moderate and the extreme, and then we push off. So I like to think about the extreme. Here, I would have been stopped out with the extreme bear threshold, and here also. So it's like, okay, are we on an uptrend, and where do we pull back? We pierced the extreme, but here we would have been out around here. Like I like to use either the 10 SMA or a trend line. So let's say we have this here, even here. So pierce the 10 SMA and pierce the trend line, we would have been out way before the 4-hour bear. So that's Lumen in terms of, this makes sense as a longer term target, but not right now. And I have the other, we have Amcor. Let's see where Amcor is here. Let's see. Amcor, AMCor. It's not individual. So AMCR, is this Amcor?
I feel like it would still be a buy. Okay. It comes out. Like 100. VIAV also. Both of these, like I actually net new positions on these guys for me, adding, even though, you know, this cost basis would be significantly higher than emits. I don't think it matters because it, again, here now, this was that 65. 65 was the more recent low here. I think $70 being a higher low than that, getting right back over its 20-day. We got 1, 2, 3. This is the fourth attempt. 1, 2, 3. Fourth attempt at the $75 high. I think we go. Baby. It's go time. Again, if this is over 76, it is go time though. And then we should initially be at 95s and then potentially 105s, and everybody knows what happens after that. Yeah, I'm using my same kind of trading bucket, same setup, similar setup, just kind of breach that 20-day simple, hold the 50, kind of back up right in here. This one's got a little bit more to go. 55 and a half is that next one. But generally speaking, these consolidations.
Okay, they switch already. Let me do this. So, okay, I like to do this so I can, if I go to the lower time ranges, I can see where the higher time frame lows are expected. There's my own process. It doesn't, like, there's no science behind it or whatever. So if it holds 76, they said, I also remember, like, let's do the scripts, the SMAs. So we can do the daily SMAs. I want to do, the 21 day, but I want to do it as a daily. 21 SMA, but daily. I don't use this one as much. But I'll do it as a 50. I don't use this one either, but I'll do this one as a daily, also 200. 200 kind of like I like the thresholds more as a reversal. This is both on a daily, so I do more stuff, like a longer term stuff. So I do more stuff on a daily basis. Let me do this on a daily also. So yeah, so there we are. So if I'm looking, what I'm trying to do with doing this process is, okay, I'm gonna force myself to, this is April tariff. Let me do a weekly, and let me go back further. Let me turn this off for a time. So we're at, well, super parabolic, awesome. Amcor. Double bottom there is at 113, 133. So this is a higher one, and this is around December 08. So this could be like a longer time frame trend line. Could be here. Yeah. I'll take that one. Here is 23rd of 2023. 2020. So it depends on where you want to start. This is 2025. So came back to test. So how would have this looked here? Would be here up to here, and then pierce down. I like to use this one, so I just extend it to the right, and it helps my OCD brain better than a trend line. So here it would have looked something like this. This would be maybe stopped out or daily cycle low, and then would have been out here. And it already went above this. So let me take this one out, this one out. So we can do research chart view, and maybe go down. Let's do this one. Still holding support somewhat. Oh, yeah, there's not on Amcor anymore. They went ahead. So a lot of people like to give Tory trades a little bit of shit, but I think that going down and doing like the weekly and then looking for which trend lines do hold support. So this one we could arguably say that it looks better here. Is it that, or is it this? Is it this? And then a trend line will come up from here. I don't know if this is a second angle or we want to just go with this one. So 1, 2, still holding support. This, what it says is that we're expecting a low around here. It's skirting down. Stochastic is opening up a bit, so losing strength in my eye. And if we do this, we're expecting here. And the 21 could be like a level 71, the 50, 70, 63. I don't know if we get there. And let me do, instead of that, let me do the thresholds. Thresholds give a little bit more, 65. So yeah, let me look back at what they were saying here.
More or less go first attempt, 1, 2, 3, fourth attempt at the $75
That's on the 3
high.
hour.
I think we go. I think we go, baby. It's go time.
I don't know.
If this is over
1,
76, it is
2,
go time.
3, 4.
And then we should initially
Is
be
this a
at
higher high?
95s and then potentially 105s.
74.
Everybody knows what happens after that.
79.45. So it's a margin.
Yeah,
this
is
is
my same kind of trading
bullish,
bucket.
like
same setup,
subtle
similar
tail.
setup. Just kind of breach that 20-day simple, hold the 50, kind of back up right in here. This one's
Wait, I'm not yet there yet. So I would be a little bit more cautious here. 4 hour, 6 hour, 8 hour, 12 hours still. Here you still have room to be or enter a little bit more of overbought. But when they start spreading here, what I've seen is when it's like starting to like curl down. So if it was still pushing up a little bit more, it's like starting to, I don't know if you see that. Like it's different here than you have here. Or even, what's a better example here? You're pushing off. You have like false like divergences and false like it breaks down. Like it's not the only confluence. Here you could have gone like another thing. My eye was drawn to this. It was like here. That would be red, but just doing it quickly could be here. And then it broke out and having the 10 SMA okay? Or even here, back here, let's say. This would be a much earlier entry. So we could, yeah, that's a much better entry. And the only thing that I don't love about this is that we had a trigger here. It failed basically the cycle, or it didn't trigger here. It still held the indicator, but if you had your stop loss as a low, then you wouldn't been stopped out if you didn't get out on the break of the 10 SMA or the trend line. And then here we didn't have a real trigger. This is a 24-hour. Let's see yeah, we didn't get anything on the 24-hour, the daily. So it's not super clean, but you could have been looking, okay, it goes down, and then you're looking for a rebound and break of the trend line and above the 10 SMA, even if the indicator didn't work. That's like and bounce off the 4-hour moderate bear. That's another sign. Bounce up. You could have tried to enter here, held support, bounce off the thing is that looking back, I'm here myself, and this is not actual support, because the line that you would have had before would be something more like this. So this created a new like trend line of support. You could have had this like here or here. So this would have been a break of support, but off of the 4-hour bear threshold, then maybe you can think about, okay, it's pushing off and entering off the 10 SMA. You have a retest, wait for a retest. All those things are things that it's more like a style of what you like to do. So let me save this and let me look for the one that they have here. VIAV. Is it that one? VIAV? Yeah. So again, daily reset. So we have a high here. Let me see if I can, is it turn on? Yeah, the wave 4, wave 3 was turned on. So let me, for the time being, turn off this one. Let me do this, and let me do this, off of this. Let's try to do this. Off of here, do this. Off of here, do this. So you could have gone a little bit more vertical, but let's say we have 1, 2, 3. Broke support. Hasn't made a new high. This is high confluence. I don't love this thing right here. And let me see the thresholds. But it still has time. Like, it's still going. Got to the light bear, so didn't go. And what does it say? This is a wave 4, so it's correcting in a wave 4 on the weekly, the 1 hour, and 30 minutes. So let's do the weekly. This is an indicator I started using. Let's see how it sets up. Here, bounce of the 10 SMA. It still has room to go down. It hasn't turned up here on the stochastic, but I have a couple of traders that I know and I respect that like trading the wave 4s, and this is one of them. Like, he has an indicator, trigger trades. So you have an invalidation here. So you could try to see how you structure. It's not so clear because it never got to the 236, so I don't know how comfortable, but if you have the 236, the 382, and 0.5, I think. So you can't have a clear invalidation. Like, if it goes beyond the invalidation level, then it's not wave 4. So it's set on the weekly, and it's set on the 1 hour. Just a little bit of a gap here. Getting to the light pole. 2 times. Like, see the light bear? Hit it, bounced off. Hit it, bounced off. And this is what I was saying. Like, you like when it triggers, like this is the wave 3 starts retracing. You have the 236, and you can try to like maybe think about how you can structure trades and say this is my first entry, like 1/3, 1/3, and 1/3. If it's the 0.5, and you have a clear invalidation. Even now, if you want to enter here, we could do like a 53.30. So give me another new chat. VIAV, is it? Entry 53.31, stop 51.59. And depending on your account size, then you can do whatever you want in terms of this. So risking 1,000. And then what you want to do is, okay, from here to what are the targets? So from here to your initial target, 6%, 8%. And then if you had been earlier, but from now, your invalidation level is like 3. So if you do, I don't use this as much because I don't use a broker that, usually use a broker that's connected to this or not. So like if you do this here, and this is your inval, and this is your main target, what does it give you as a, it's like a 4 to 1, almost 5 to 1. So this is something I started using right now, and I like it, but still it's curling down. So I don't know if I would enter right now. Maybe if I had, I don't know, I need to know the stock a little bit better. But yeah, that's what we have here. Let me see, what else do we have? Play.
A little bit more to go. 55 and a half is that next one. But generally speaking, these consolidations have more or less consolidated enough to me and are ready. So unlike other stocks, these to me are in fact ripe and ready to run. So here's the consolidation of VIAV. This is a how many day a 40-day consolidation. I know it doesn't look like much on the screen, but it is. Same thing with Amcor. This is a also 45-day consolidation post earnings. This is how it works. So these stocks have been resting. It is time for them to make a run, whereas some of the other stocks that have been running, it's probably time for them to take a rest, like a Nebius. Who knows?
TSM?
Dude, so TSM is one where like we don't do this one very often. Probably should. I don't trade that much. Probably should. This thing is just it's a beast of another flavor for sure. Taiwanese. I almost got Taiwan for lunch today. I thought about it, but instead I didn't have much time, so I went to the supermarket.
Let me see what the Anchored VWAPs say. I don't know why I picked purple for the highs. So yeah. For me, this already made a huge move. I'm not saying it can't move higher, but interesting thought process in terms of the Anchor VWAPs is like it gives you levels that even if you like, instead of having like, if let's say we have this, right? So traditional TA would tell you that maybe you can do like something like this and something like this, but it's like, what are you gonna do with that? You're not gonna do anything with that. And even if you go here, did that really break out? That really didn't break out. No? Do we do log? Does that help? I don't know if that helped a lot. Well, it kind of helped. So it did give you here, like it's a breakout, 1, 2, and then half through wave 3. You have something there. And another way to see it is, okay, you broke through that AVWAP that could be like a supply zone, let's say. And if you break above that, then you can enter on a retrace, like, and what could be your stop loss? It could be like the actual, a little below the Anchored VWAP. You have the trend line, and then that's where you start getting confidence. Like, okay, where's my entry? Here's on a weekly. Let's say if we go on a daily, and we were saying it could have been like around here. So this is a push off, and then we would have been waiting for a daily cycle low around here. And this gives you confidence in terms of, okay, I'm above VWAP, I'm still holding support, and I'm waiting for a cycle low around here. And then it still can push off. And I can try to look at the, it's interesting here, it's the divergence, because this is the low, you're going down on the DSS. A safer entry could have been, okay, I'm above VWAP, it already confirmed, maybe a trend line here, break above 10 SMA. So what are your rules and what are you looking at in terms of how you're structuring your trades? I've found that the AVWAPs are kind of like a cool dynamic way of determining support and resistance, and I treat them kind of like a trend line. And I like to use the significant or historical all-time highs with, like, in this case, it's cool for also IPOs. But from the initial point that the stock started trading, and when you have big run-ups, like, okay, it came above the lower significant here AVWAP. So this is a break above AVWAP. Came back down. You could have exited here, could have exited here. We have another daily cycle low above a significant anchored VWAP. So if you exit here or here, you can start looking, okay, this is a daily cycle low, still not above the AVWAP from here. So another low that I could be expecting, and then it pushes off. So it's interesting as a tool to look at the anchor VWAPs, I feel. And we could throw here the SMAs. Sometimes they just start, there's confluence on the traditional ways of looking at how you have bull or bear crosses. So it's just another way of confirming stuff. So look at how it retests the anchor VWAP, and then you have like a bullish cross, 10 SMA, 21 above the 200 and the 50 and the 200. Yeah, the 113 and the 200. I don't use the 113 as much. So you have here, around here, you have a bullish cross of all the SMAs, but you are also above VWAP. So is it more reactive to enter off of the cross, or is it more predictive to enter off the anchor VWAP of the lows? So just food for thought. So let me see another one.
Legit got a pack of
The other one
sushi.
is Tesla, Robinhood,
You didn't even
and
eat it yet?
Fastly.
Oh yeah,
Let me
'cause
see
you-
what I
No,
have on
'cause
the
I didn't eat it yet, dude.
Tesla.
Is like this close away from being a $500 stock. I'm serious. So if 415 holds, which it held today, I want to launch this tomorrow.
415 Tesla. Let me see. Let me start from scratch with Tesla. So this says that we're on a wave 4 on the weekly and the monthly and the 30 and the 15. So let's say on a weekly, let's see what it comes up with. Still has a way down here to come down in terms of the weekly. The stock RSI is a little bit more promising. But again, you have invalidation. Are you going to wait, look at the 50 SMA? I don't know if it gets to the 113. Okay. But then you can start trying to maybe scale in and say, okay, this is a just 236 retracement. Makes sense maybe because can go a little bit lower here. Maybe, I don't know. But again, you can do like the 60%. So why 74%? And then if you go down to invalidation, and then all right, like that's a 3 to 1 if you go to here, I think. And you have to enter up the 50 SMA. So maybe you go down lower and validation stays the same. You have an Anchored VWAP here. You have an SMA here. So let's do Tesla. This would be from scratch also, but on the weekly, kind of turning down. 24-hour, didn't get up here. That's something that I don't love when it doesn't go from overbought to oversold and then back, but it turns around before. Look at the stochastic RSI just from the middle of the like 50 line. So we do have daily cycle low here. The weekly started looking for here. We can do here, and then we can do here, but do the different color thingy. Daily cycle low, Control C, Control V. So they said 412 held. This could be a high confluence. Now, one of the reasons that I do this is because you can then go down and say, okay, is this a high? And this is a high. It's in the window. It's a high. It's a high. So we have, this is already confirmed. Let's see what the 2-hour and the 3-hour look. This is mid, but this already is confirmed. So if we use this off the low, I can enter here, use this like a low. It's under the 8 SMA. I like using more than 10 SMA, but it's okay. So Icy Boy has a video saying how he likes to treat these. So let's see when it printed. So what he says is that when it prints on the lower time frame, he uses, I think, 4-hour. Okay, here. So I have a 12-hour high confluence. I could enter here with a third of a size and wait for a 24-hour to confirm. So if it takes me out, fine, I still have 2/3 of my position. And if it confirms on the 24, that was 435. Let's say, let's do leave replay. And let's look for when it triggered on the daily. 435. It was. Sometimes they trigger on the same time frame or time. What was that? So here it's retracing. So you could have waited for the retracement, but when it triggered, it was like around here. 435, maybe at the same time. Then you can maybe wait and enter off of it. It's a mid. So a mid confluence, let's say, and then it held and it's still looking for a high. So maybe you entered here of the 435 and now you have a high confluence with 424 as an entry. So you have a tighter stop loss, high confluence on the daily when already other levels have confirmed. So you can bet on a push upwards. The DSS, you can give you like mixed signals. So you can maybe just use that as another confirmation instead of like an actual trigger of entry signal. So yeah, let's see what they end up saying of Tesla.
I think last time when we talked, I said, if you chased it here or here, you're probably too early. Now it's come back in, and this is the process. So last time it held today. I want to watch this tomorrow.
Sorry.
I think last time when we talked, I said, if you chased it here or here, you're probably too early. Now it's come back in, and this is the process. So this is actually a very good look on Tessie. I don't mind this at all. And so what I'm looking at is I'm looking at a very nice consolidation in here that's getting really tight. So as this tries to consolidate just like this, I think this is exactly what we're going to see. So first of all, this initial, this recent downtrend is absolutely done, right? So we're out of that pullback. We're into the next kind of uptrend. And that general uptrend, this is the bottom of that channel. So once again, trade location matters. This is, as opposed to up here, this is a better trade location, as close to 415 as you can. As long as she's holding, this becomes tradable to me. Now, the first move doesn't have to break out. So like resistance is at 445. But if we start getting a weekly close over 445 or like next after this week, if this is trading over 445 next week, it's very likely that this is going to be 500 the week after that, or very close to, call it 480 the week after that. And that's how this is going to work. And this is going to be essentially the bull right here. And yeah, this is how it begins. It's a process. It's not an event. So there's time. And you want to take it in phases. And if this does go, well, over 500, it's very likely a straight shot to 6. But with earnings at the end of next month, I don't see how it doesn't. At least this is probably
one thing that I like about using cycles for the earnings is that we have earnings here. So let's say if this low holds, let's see how many days? 48. So we've had 55, 41 days, 25, 49, 39, 41. So the interesting thing is when we had a cycle low here and then earnings completely bullish, even though they missed. We are waiting for a cycle low here. We have earnings. Then no matter if they hit and met expectations, stock doesn't push. Same here. We're in the middle of the window. It already maybe run up, and we have our earnings here. So it does push off, but not so much. And then it retraces back down. So we would have to see if this low holds. And the thing that I don't love about trading individual stocks is that they're less predictable in terms of cycle times than the indices. So this could just have a low, like a shorter cycle, and then come out of here, and this could fail. But it can also extend, and this could be like a bearish expectation in terms of going into earnings. So look at here. It had a shorter cycle here, 25 days, pushed off, and then sold off. And here, earnings, you had it here. Also here. I think when was it that I made the video for the indicator? It was like 328 was coming out of, was it here? Or was it here? Maybe out of here. I have to look back. But I have a video where I had a Tesla trade on using the indicator.
Close to 500 buy earnings next month. Now, whether or not that's tradable for you guys, that's on you. but this is actually not a spot where I would start selling
500
covered calls
dealer
on Tesla.
cluster.
This
You
is a
do
spot
have
where
positive
we can
gamma
say
here, 500.
it's been great to sell covered calls. At this point, you stop doing that, and you want to see what it has in store. So I would say start taking down the covered calls and just see what she's got in the tank, because you got a couple catalysts.
AMD.
Not financial advice. What
40.
What a disgusting chart, dude. What do you, like?
I don't see
At
that.
a certain point, these become
this
very
can always
difficult,
change depending on AMD.
I mean,
I don't want to see
if you
say
probably sure, because I think that this is
where did they have the other ones?
Companies that are
they said
in
that
the
were
biggest part with more bells.
400. Then
Apple,
I think
VIAV.
liquidated and
Crypto could be a cool.
the guy Scott Redler is going to be. So it's a little heavy. 25. That range. I feel like it would.
Was that vastly?
Like 30s. That's exactly what happened within this, especially from a trading account perspective. So I gotta pare it back and maybe raise some cash before Friday, just in case. So like, if I'm thinking that way, guys, I'm just saying there might be other traders out there that are thinking that way, because this has been an amazing run, and I need to protect some profits before we go to the next one, because like you're looking at like VIAV, Amcor, I'm not worried about it, but like CoreWeave, I probably should have taken a lot more than I did, I guess. I'm also not too worried about it because I actually really like CoreWeave. Akamai, amazing day. Fastly, amazing day. We outlined that. Yeah, like, dude, it's a lot of corning for me right now. Even my Honeywell is doing well. Dude, I took Apple again, laddered onto, yeah.
Connect your Robinhood account to Claude and then tell Claude to sell everything. There you go. That's what you.
It'll market orders, like market sell at the absolute lows. I guarantee it.
Okay, let's do Fastly and Akamai. What do you think about those two?
Well, Fastly, we kind of outlined last week of this is how it starts, right? This is how the recovery starts right here, right now. Also 17 and a quarter right here was that it happens to be the first time I opened this was over here at 21. And I was like, I really wanted it in this $17 range anyways. I actually wanted it in this range, but I didn't get it. And I just saw it and I was like, well, like, I don't think I'm going to get it. You got it this time. I think, that was it's a big run into this. And I think for a lot of people, probably frustrating because it didn't hold its thing, but again, hold its move. But again, that's earnings. That's how the game is. If you don't get that, sorry, don't know what to tell you. This moment here now, this is a nice moment. Is it the moment? No, I think last week I said Fastly is starting here and now. And before you blink, this could be a $22 stock. That's exactly what happened.
22?
Within 24 hours time, it was $18 to 22 and change. That's how she goes. So the next move here is to 24 and a half and then 27. If this is over 27, it's over 30. Quick, short, to the point, right? It needs to hold. This can also pull back significantly here to 18 and still be complete.
My eyes are drawn to this. Didn't hit it, but it's interesting how it's a level. Could be like a volume profile and just a lot of things just add confluence. Look at how the 200-day SMA is converging here. But he said that last week, don't blink. And yeah, DSS was under the triggered 22, the 22nd. 22nd. So here. The turn go to this here. So yeah, but it's technical resistance, like with a trend line. We have overhead at 23, still kind of good. Has a 50 SMA. I don't know. This could have been a little bit more tradable, but I think this could, if it doesn't get up here, it's not as bullish, you know? Let's see what this says. This is something I started using recently. So it's a bear. The validation is 22. So yeah, I don't know. I like this setup more than being bullish right now. Like maybe it has another low around here, maybe tagging the 200 SMA, and you have like an AVWAP here. You have support here in terms of the trend line. You broke this trend line. You have overhead resistance here, here. And this is an example of how you have the 50-day SMA, but you also have from the beginning of the trading of the stock, the AVWAP is at 2370 right now for a 24-hour. So you have resistance here. So I could even, and this is why I want to do this, because I can start looking at stuff, and this could be something that I could look into, like as a contrarian position to their setup and clear invalidation. Like you have what, 2138 and 2280. So give me another one. Fastly short entry 2137. Stop 2269. Let's do 2270. So depending on your account size, this is 2% risk, 16K position, and you're risking 1,000. And that 16K, if this works out and says it's from here to the 50%, that's 36%. And if not, it's like 46%. And let's do the short thing here, because can give you a better idea what risk reward. Even let's do a little bit more than this, and let's just do to the 50%. That's how much? It's like 7R, almost 8. This looks interesting. This looks, well, let's look at this. Gex levels. It broke, yeah, broke dealer cluster, so it's above. It has something here, 25. It has a gap. Seems like has a gap here. Let's look. That's the only thing bad about doing the 24-hour, that you don't see the gaps. But still, I don't love it as much right now. Still, validation is tight. You have this AVO up here. DSS curling down, stochastic curling down. I don't know. I don't love it right now. You don't have negative gamma. Negative around here, 17. 22, 25. Broke above the data cluster, 20. 17 would be 1750. Would be 1750. So we say 1750. Almost 4-1 still. Fastly and Robinhood. Oh, hoodie.
Completely valid. So what I'm saying is that this needs to come through. We could, oops, we can see a lot of like back and forth like this. This can come all the way back in 18 and still be a long. I think how you trade this, if you decide to trade that, matters. But as long as this is over 17 from here on out, period, end of story, she is on the mend. Like I was saying with Zscaler and some of these other names that have gone up quite a bit and pulled back significantly on earnings, I think the vast majority of them get a mulligan, meaning like a do-over, like a retry, especially with this environment that we're in. I don't think that Fastly is not like that. I think that's exactly what we're seeing now. And this is exactly how it begins to play out. So it is a process to recover. I'd give it like a few weeks, like 3-4 weeks before it's back to the 30s. So in between that, you can see plus 10% days, minus 7% days very easily. You can see a 15% day on Fastly. It's just how she rolls. You kind of have to know what like the personality of the stocks that you're trading are. But I like Fastly here now, especially if this holds 17 for the foreseeable future, call it the entire year. If this gets back on track, just back on track, this was on track to be 50 and then some.
It was on track to be 50, and then it took a beating on earnings. But
yeah, it's on track to be 50 and then some. And I think this is one where you and I could probably even 70. Where you and I could probably even do a similar kind of thing.
70.
This setup is another short squeeze setup. I would not be surprised to see this at 30 by the end of next month.
30 next week.
Yeah.
Wow.
100% agree. Especially if agentic inference in general is a tailwind.
So it's so laughable. I think this is gonna be as laughable as AI taking out security, dude.
Yeah. Agreed.
Honestly.
Agreed. SoFi.
Wait. It brings us to the big boy. Part about umbrellas are bear wealth create 45. So 45 is the other buy earn fast. I think we're gonna see. I think that this is where shorts would start to cover ahead of an earnings catalyst, and new longs start to pile in, especially on this type of setup. So I like it a lot. That's August earnings, so you have some time. You don't have to rush into this. But does it actually get through that 120? That's what I don't know. And so I can see 120 happening on either an earnings catalyst or a pre-earnings run up. Does it hold that? I don't know, because if they really don't deliver, I guess this whole entire thing is possible. But I do think that $75.
Found it. Sorry, guys.
I would call these squeeze setups. Lane. So I would say 185 is kind of a key pivot, but this is in fact yet again another higher high above that last 93 high. So this is on the mend to me. I think that this does make that trek to fill this session gap around 90. It's like 99 and change. But also, like, similarly, I would be patient here. If you didn't take your shot already, that's fine. I think that you could add to it. I already took my shot and I took a little profit, and I have the balance on from a trading perspective. But if this holds just in general, let's say 82, this is perfectly fine. And now we have a very large support area to defend against. I mean, I say large support area. To me, like just pure chart, no lines, no nothing yet. If I look at this and I'm like, we spent how long here? This entire area with with decisively like what we call this is what we call that liquidity grab, and then you know, a higher high there, this guy. This is how this begins. And so I think you could possibly look at somewhere around this area. It could breach again and have another liquidity grab before it does this, but essentially replicating this type of structure here and putting it over here is really like what I would be looking for. And so somewhere around the $80 level, roughly, I think is perfectly fine. No lines back on. That happens to be like 85 is that IPO kind of impulse high. And this pivot here, I think that's important, or that's it's not super important. It's nice. Regardless,
did he say? Let me go back in here.
This 5 is really like what I would be looking for.
Oh, the 80 something.
So
yeah.
Somewhere around that $80 level, roughly, I think is perfectly fine. No lines back on. That happens to be like 85 is that IPO kind of impulse high. And this pivot here, I think that's important, or it's not super important. It's nice. Regardless, this setup on Hood is gearing up to be more parabolic than the setup on Palantir. But they're both extremely, what I would say, squeezy. I would call these squeeze setups. Like, I don't know what short interest is on either of these, but they might be worth looking into. I think a short squeeze is these look like short squeeze candidates to me.
Okay, so it's not a kind of press the gas moment here. You want to see some more confirmation over 90, basically.
Convergence.
Yeah, because if it is short squeeze, by the way, so I'll give you
51.
upside targets here or into the 120s. If it's a short squeeze candidate, that doesn't mean it's a real move to me. I think it's a possible move, but is it a sustained move? That's what I don't really know. And I think that's going to come down to earnings. But I do see this possibly getting up as high as 120, which is that last, on the right-hand side of my screen, is that last area of support, which was, this comes from over here, where all this support was before in this whole giant area. That becomes, I think, resistance in the future. And so let's say if pathing looked something like this, that's like 108 before earnings. The good thing here is that we have an earnings catalyst to trade into, which is slightly over your 200-day simple moving average. So I would say 108 is an upside target before earnings. If it gets extended, 120 is an upside target potential before earnings, especially on a short squeeze type move. And I do think that this is where shorts would start to cover ahead of an earnings simple moving average. So I would say 108 is an upside target before earnings. If it gets extended, 120 is an upside target potential before earnings, especially on a short squeeze type move. And I do think that this is where shorts would start to cover ahead of an earnings catalyst and new longs start to pile in, especially on this type of setup. So I like it a lot. That's August earnings. So you have some time. You don't have to rush into this. But does it actually get through that 120? That's what I don't know. And so I can see 120 happening on either an earnings catalyst or a pre-earnings run up. Does it hold that? I don't know, because if they really don't deliver, I guess this whole entire thing is possible. But I do think that $75 bottom is defendable from here on out for the rest of the year. So I think that is probably the rest of the year type of support. If we get up here to 120 and it's just a complete failure, I probably would expect to see this back to this $70, $80 level, but I wouldn't be deterred then either from taking a Q4 trade to actually get up and out again. And that would be that's the only reason I would say I'm a little cautious. I think we're going to get a bounce, but does it hold through 120s? I think a lot of things look like this. I don't want to assume it. And so because of those reasons, I kind of need to wait till after earnings, but I think into earnings, we get that pre-earnings move.
Rick Wong, thank you for the gifted 20 memberships. Rick is pretty loaded up on Marvell, so it's a good day for him. 3:15 after hours.
Dude, should we
Look,
just
I think you would also
stare at it?
we could just stare at it, but
all its glory.
For the people feeling FOMO on it right now, I don't know if in the after-hour session buying it is the best option. But then again, last night, it was in the after hours. Buying it maybe wasn't the best idea, and look what happened. 5 million shares. I'm looking at the volume has been traded after hours so far. So this is not even a small amount. This is not like it's illiquid. It's lots of people.
No, it's kind of just stair stepping up. You want to do some live?
I don't know. Let's see this push off here where it fell. Oh, sorry guys, my internet sometimes sucks balls. So 21 days. Didn't have any, well, any significant, maybe from here. That's interesting. Let's do the purple. A lot of people tell me that if I just, a lot of people say that less BC charts, like cleaner charts are better. But sometimes it's just like having ideas of, and you can try to do the AVWAPs and stick them in the folder, like either top AVWAPs or low AVWAPs, and then stick them somewhere and then turn them on and off if you want to see at levels. It's like still resistance. Resistance. So I want to see what was it that could have triggered. Held this one and then broke above. Now using this as support. I don't know if you guys see value in this. So if it breaks down, I'm bearish. If it holds support, you have 3 lines of previous all-time highs that kind of act as support. If you are long-term bearish and thinking about a correction later in the year, maybe 53 could be a reasonable target, just because these are convergences of previous lows. This was June 2022, so off the bear market, and the IPO initial trading high. So this gives you confidence that it could try to see downwards. The one, and I try to be open to it. It's obvious, like if you break off this line, maybe you can watch this one, but this one is less relevant if you already break through this one. So if you break 98, I could try to think about 113, 120, 153, or at least like around 115, 120. GEX levels can change, but you don't see anything. 120, you see a little bit, positive there, the biggest node. And then 149, just like maybe double topping and reversing. 199, still negative. Positive GEX 200. So these are things to keep an eye on, like 200 and 150. But at the same time, you have like you could consider like a call wall at 100, then another one on 105. You know, I don't know. I'm not as bullish as these guys on Hood. Anyway, you can try to look for indicators I use. This is a Camel Finance indicator. This is trigger trades, wave 4, wave 5. You have to do signing up and giving your username. And these are, you have to be subscribed to Dagger with the thresholds and the SMAs. This one is just convenient because you can put, and they stick at the settings that you apply. So you can have like a 1 day, like a 1 day 21 the SMA, and no matter what time frame you go down to, it stays on 1 day. There are other tools that you can do that. So it's just convenient way to look at it, and the color coding kind of aligns with the thresholds. And this is more of thinking about the market more so. Let me turn off all these. So this is more thinking about the market like in an equilibrium based on like Fibonacci stuff. So you have, let's say it's not necessarily around the 10 SMA, but you have first bull target, first bear target. So in the middle, you would have what could be like a point of control, and then it changes dynamically, like a 4-hour extreme. I think that when they were talking, I pointed out, hits the 4-hour extreme, reverts, 4-hour extreme, reverts. They're kind of the same, like for the 4-hour extreme bear, reverts, a moderate bear, reverts. So you can maybe play off of those, and you can see how the market starts playing like kind of like, and you can see like Bollinger Bands and Keltner channels and whatnot. So this is another way of using the same, but this is more like Fibonacci based, and the real use for them is more like SPY, as I understand it. It's structure around SPY. See, it barely pierces here, touches here, reverts. Let's see if we can 4-hour light bull. If we bounce off of here, moderate bear, we bounce off. We barely touch the extreme. We revert here, go back to the middle, a little bit of a moderate bear, moderate bull, extreme bear, so on and so forth. So hopefully this is interesting to you guys, and I'll try to start doing a little bit more. I have a camera on the way, and I need to set up Apex Legends following Luxago peak activity. Fine. Luxago is a cool tool. So yeah, 1 hour 23. Let's see if this gets any traction. But for me, it's interesting to force myself to have the process, at least for the trades that I feel on Technical Tuesday that are the more conviction trades, and then more like for day 2 extraction, momentum continue toward. It's to hold around 150. Then it broke because today, I don't know you, but I shorted. I've been short for a while, but short yesterday. What was the level? 142. There was a gap here. Gap here. So Palantir has to hold if it breaks below 135. Let's see if we agree. 132-ish. We had a daily cycle low here. This was 33 days. 38 days, sorry. 14 days. 20 days. Can left translate. And we can do like, I don't know, maybe the AVWAPs, but what would you have a support? What did we use for the last one? Purple, okay. See, moderate bear. Maybe 132, you said 135, right? 135, yeah. See how everybody uses different systems, but at the end of the day, it's like a different, like, you end up at the same levels if your system is good, I feel. Here we have a low. Let me change this to here. Let me do 2. Let me do this one. Let me do 2. Oh. So let me look for a tariff tantrum one. Or no, 2022nd. Another one here. Didn't revert as much in the tariff tantrum here. Was still flying high. Flying high. 2. You have this at 2 also? 2, cool. So let me do this one. Let me add Palantir to these ones. So yeah, let's see. 132, 126, 132-ish. $135-ish, 134. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that. It's right here. Still has a long way down to go. Could go sideways. Here, it's a good example. A little bit of divergence. Higher highs, higher lows. So you could have a little bit of divergence. But still from this high to this, touch the 4-hour bear. The mother bear. So if it comes down, it's like 128. Let's see. Take care, guys. Let me stop this.